CCNA Security Real World Labs. It's not only Cisco over there, how you can make a lab cheaper. Yes, it's not only Cisco over there. The idea for this lecture is to show you how you can first of all make your lab and network cheaper. Second of all, I will try and show you that there are some really good devices that can even replace an ASA firewall. Ouch, what do you mean replace? ASA is the best. Okay, yes it is. I encourage you to watch my CCNA Real World Labs. I spent a lot of time talking about a really nice network and lab things that you can do to create a network at home as well. Here in CCNA Security Real World Labs, I want to show you a few devices that I decided to put in my network when I wanted, first of all, to learn how a feature works, and second of all, I wanted to make it cheaper. Cisco devices, to be fair, they're really good, they're reliable, and big companies will go for Cisco. They need a reliable solution. Yeah, they can pay £5,000 for a basic ASA. Well, I cannot. That's why I still want to learn, for instance, IPS. I still want to learn inter-VLAN routing. I want to play with all these features. The same applies, in the real world. A lot of companies will go for devices like Cisco, Netgear, Checkpoint, SonicWall, WatchGuard, and so on. Yeah, it's not only Cisco over there. It is a big player. It's not the only one. First of all, when I'm showing you my topology. Let me zoom it in for you. Zoom in. Here we go. So the first thing I want to show you is firewalls that I decided to get. ASA 5505, as you know, you can buy it with the base or Security Plus license. I decided to go for the base license because I bought a brand new firewall. I wanted to get a support contract from Cisco. That's the guy that you can see on the screen here. That is an ASA 5505 with the with the base license. Well, what's the problem? First of all, the main problem for me is there is no inter-VLAN routing. Ouch, Cisco, why would you do that? Why did you remove that feature? The problem for me was that I had a lot of VLANs in my network. I had voice over IP, guest, what else? DMZ, DMZ2, just, I don't know. Now I have like probably 6-7 VLANs. I want to route between some of them. Of course, DMZ I want to isolate. Still, DMZ2 is DMZ, that's the name, but it's not isolated. Anyway, the idea is I wanted to have a router. Yeah? ASA 5505 with the base license, unfortunately, will not give you that feature. It means you can have inside, outside, and that's it. There is DMZ, but that's all. You cannot have voice, guest, and so on. You can't have inter-VLAN routing. That's why I was looking for something else. Of course, I could put a Cisco router. That would be a solution. That's not the end of my story. I wanted to play with IPS. Okay, there is a dedicated video to UTM devices, and I encourage you to watch that. I will talk a little more about IPS and how difficult it was for me to find a good device. Anyway, here I want to mention that it was not possible for me to get an IPS module for this ASA. Just to say, that was the price for the module. Support contract was 130. Nah, sorry Cisco, not possible. I spent, I don't know, a couple of months looking at available solutions, and I decided to go for CyberRoam. Again, there is a dedicated UTM lecture. Please watch if you're interested why and how good that device is. To summarize this section, I have ASA 5505, which is my edge firewall. It's NAT, firewall, SSL, VPN, basic QoS, and IPsec. That's it. CyberRoam is IPS, AV, anti-spam, denial of service, and inter-VLAN routing. Yes, CyberRoam will give you inter-VLAN routing without any licenses, of course. Thanks to that, I could create as many VLANs as I wanted. Of course, it's IPS as well, antivirus, anti-spam, and layer 7 firewall. Yep. Now, failover. Okay, I mentioned you should get two 5505s with the Security Plus license. Yeah, that is £400. That's a lot. Then you need a one switch, you need that's a lot. You need two ISPs, that's like, one ISP, it's £50 a month, that is £100. That's a lot of money for a home network. What I decided to do, I decided to use a 3G connection. I had an old Cisco, well, not old, but the firewall that I used before, and now it is my backup firewall. It's a firewall NAT, and there is L2TP VPN as a backup VPN connection. It's 3G, it's pay-as-you-go. No, it's not. I'm lying to you, am I? Yeah. I think it's £15 a month, and I get, I don't know, 4 gigabytes or something like that. I don't use it anyway, but it was much easier for me. It's a 1 month contract. It was much cheaper for me. It was much easier for me just to pay, because if you go for pay-as-you-go, then you have to keep an eye on it, right? I didn't want to be surprised, like, oh, you don't have any allowance left. I didn't want to do that. £15 a month is not a lot of money for a backup solution. Of course, it's slow. It's still, it's a backup solution. I set it up in a way that it will kick in automatically. I use IPSLA on layer 3 switches that are below. That is a 3550. I use IPSLA on them. That is my primary path. That is my backup path. Again, I encourage you to watch my CCNA real-world labs. I show you in details. There is even a failover test. I encourage you to watch that. That's what you can do to make it cheaper. To give you a price for CyberRoam, I don't know, it was £400 for the box and a full license for all features. That was a 2-year contract with a support contract and all licenses. Not bad for £400. That was a trade-in option. I had another old Cisco firewall. I think it was USG 20 or 50 as well. I don't remember. And I specified that as a firewall to be replaced by CyberRoam, and they gave me a nice discount. I think they still do. If you Google it, you can find it. That's how you can make your lab much cheaper. Of course, now your question is, okay, is this IPS as good or as on Cisco? And in my opinion, sorry CyberRoam, no, it's not. No, it's not. That's all I have to say about that. When you look at the signatures and options that are available, no, it's not. It's not. Still, it's good enough to learn how IPS works, how to create signatures, how to tweak them, how to manage them. It is enough to, you know, to gain some experience. That's the whole idea, right? Is to, you know, is to learn how all these things work. And of course, if you play with IPS on CyberROM, it's not a 5-minute job to jump on an IPS sensor from Cisco and start managing it. Of course, IPS on Cisco devices is much more complicated. There are hundreds of options. CyberROM IPS, or there is an IPS module on Cisco as well. I used to have it. They're pretty basic IPS solutions, right? What I mean by that is that signatures on a Cisco device, you can tweak almost anything you want, right? There are hundreds of options that you can go for and make it work as you want. On devices like Cisco and CyberROM, in most cases, you have two options: enable a signature, disable a signature. Maybe sometimes you can tweak it here and there. That's it. It's I remember on CyberROM, I'll show you that later on when we go to UTM devices. It was really nice because they give you some description, the same for Cisco. It's not that they will just tell you, oh, this is a signature for Telnet or DOS or, I don't know, a virus, whatever. No, they will also tell you how dangerous that is, what can happen, what you can do with it. It's a great way to learn because you have a real device with an IPS module and you can play with it. Another good thing about, because this is a UTM device, it's like an all-in-one device, it's very difficult to make ASA work like that. Not saying it's not possible, but very difficult and really expensive. You have IPS, AV, anti-spam protection, right? So, for instance, I learned a lot how you can scan your emails using that device, yeah? And AV as well. That was, I was really happy with AV. Again, we have a dedicated UTM lecture. I don't want to get into details. The idea is that you can learn a lot by using a device like that. Of course, AV or anti-spam solution, it's not as sophisticated as solutions made by, I don't know, Cisco or Checkpoint and so on. It's not the same level, in my opinion. Sorry, CyberROM. I hope it will, but this device is a small office, home office device, right? The one that I have, it's CR15, is a small office, home office device. It's not a device that was designed to work in an enterprise network with 5,000 users browsing the internet, and IPS should have 5 million signatures with... No, that's not the case. This is a small device, by the way, wireless as well. Yes, Cisco ASA should be 5505 should be wireless, guys, should be. And this is a wireless device as well. Yeah, it's an all-in-one UTM device. In this video, I wanted to show you how you can make your lab cheaper. I showed you a few devices that you could use to make it happen, and I hope that you will look at some other solutions available from vendors like CyberROM, Cisco. I struggle to say Netgear because I don't like Netgear, sorry guys. But what else? Sonic Wall, right? I'm very careful when I name some companies because I cannot recommend all solutions. For sure, I can recommend small office, home office solutions from Cisco and CyberRoam, and that's where I want to leave it for now. Thank you very much.